तो हमारे साथ में आज बिमल है। बिमल शार्क टैंक के शो रनर हैं, तो कायदे से तो मेरे थोड़े बहुत बॉस भी माने जाते हैं। मैं आपके साथ एवरी टाइम आई सैट डाउन विथ यू, I have taken like few takeaways and I have thought that this guy is very interesting. मतलब he must have something beyond. क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग जनरली काम की जब बात करते हैं, talk about the show, the sets and so on. But आपका past experience lends you very well for being a combination of an entrepreneur and a creative leader. तो दोनों के बारे में बात करते हैं। सब लोग क्रिएटिव फील्ड में आना चाहते हैं, पर उनमें एक वो संकोच रहता है कि क्या हम लोग कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि इस फील्ड में तो एक बड़ी कम्युनिटी बनी हुई है, बाहर से लोग शायद आना अलाउड नहीं होगा। एंड मे बी उसके कारण वो जो है सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर हमारी जैसी कंपनियों में आके काम करते हैं। आई एम एन इंजीनियर एट अ कॉलेज, आई डू थिएट्रिक्स, आई वॉन्ट टू गेट इन टू द वर्ल्ड ऑफ क्रिएटिव, बट आई एम बॉदर्ड।
इफ यू लुक एट television industry or media industry as a whole, it's essentially a freelancer's gig, right? Now, if you look at Shark Tank, 99% of the people are freelancers.
I spoke to a few of them.
Right? They are all freelancers. If you're already used to a comfort zone, this may not be the stuff for you. If this is not, this needs hustle, this needs going beyond your call of duty, this needs certain patience, this needs that perseverance to begin with. If you don't have it, then I would suggest that you probably
it's not for you.
Yeah, it's not for you then. It's a lot of hard work. It doesn't have that kind of scheduled shifts and work hours and stuff like that. It doesn't have the amenities. You don't get insurance. A lot of stuff is wrong. And yeah, one would want it to be corrected. But on the flip side,
today it is what it is.
It is what it is, right? On the flip side, what probably your takeaway from this would be multifold. But two important takeaways that at least from my life have, and from whatever I see of my colleagues in my team, two things. One is learning opportunities, right? The amount of learnings that you get to go through and imbibe during your journey is, I don't think any other industry can offer you. Now Shark Tank, for example, right? Shark Tank, we aren't business oriented. I've not gone to business school, never really. I've done some businesses in my life as a creative person or a content person, but we learned the job. You never, there is no other industry.
I must say, now he's so good. He talks about valuations, entry price, कौन सी कंपनीज की diligence सही है, कौन सी कंपनी का governance सही है. I almost feel like you should be like on some key government panels advising on startups in India.
But I'll tell you what, now you also, right? Like probably you have learned a lot along your business journey. But now in Shark Tank, when you sit on the Shark's chair, like in the last 5 days alone, you've
I've learned so much.
About 30 pitches, right? 30 businesses you've seen. Now imagine the team. Leave me aside, right? And any team member senior enough would have gone through at least about 1,200 applications, right? My staff met in person about 150, 200 businesses, 250 businesses in one season alone, right? Now, and you're having 45-minute, 1 hour conversation with each one of them, and then follow-up conversations.
Wow.
And then you're reading their entire this thing. Imagine the amount of learning, amount of insights that you would get just by doing this exercise. And it requires.
I'm almost tempted to say that whenever somebody from your team is considering a new role, you should send them to us.
It's amazing. It's amazing. They're all, and anyone in the media, of course, I'm not saying everyone is, but if you have to grow further in life, in this profession, you got to be learning constantly.
A week back, I met Vidhu Vinod Chopra ji. We watched a movie together, and then spent a couple of hours. And I was telling him my life changed when somebody from Mumbai agreed to give me 5 lakh rupees of check, and that was like a life-changing moment. I went to ISKCON in Juhu. So he said, "मेरा भी ऐसे ही कोई था." So I said, "Who was it?" He said, "उनका नाम था अमिताभ भाई." And he said, "I had made a short movie, which he'd come to watch, and he looked at him and said, I want to do something with you." He said eventually that didn't happen because he was getting paid more from Doordarshan.
That's true.
But he said that confidence that I got, and it made a difference in his life. We are all very inspired by Amitabh Bachchan ji. He's an icon of a generation, maybe multiple generations.
Absolutely.
What influence has he had in your life?
I worked with AP. Learning, I mean, there probably is so much to learn, but my learning is very simple. It's work ethics, right? And that's a part of his work ethics that at least I have found inspirational to another level. That turning up is fine, turning up is amazing. You got to turn up on time, on discipline. the diligence.
तो हंगर होना कि हर attention to detail में हम काम करें.
Attention to detail, because you understand the value of time, you respect the value of time that others are giving to this, and you respect the audience, your customers or your consumers or whatever, right? To give them the best that's possible. More importantly, the kind of prep that he puts into ensuring that the time that has been given to make an impact on screen is maximized is unbelievable.
तीसरा और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट सवाल, देखिए सबसे पहले तो आई थिंक विमन शार्क टैंक वाज समथिंग व्हिच started with a lot of naysayers, right? Back in the day. In 2 years, you have proved almost everybody wrong. You had much lesser resources back in the day. It would have been very easy to say कि I'm going to do some other show, because you could have picked any show, right? So you chose this show when many people would not have. What gave you the hunger and enthusiasm to pursue it?
Now, first of all, I would just correct you that I don't know whether Shark Tank has like become that iconic brand. We still, I think, got a long way to go. I think it is a combination of things. I think we had great backing from the management. They didn't ask us questions. They didn't tell us what to do. They said, "Here is a brief. Can you make the show? Now go out and do the show." Right?
Truly startup था कि जो
Truly,
करना है
you just do this. Go ahead, get the people that you like. When you're given that kind of freedom and a backup, then it's impossible to slack off to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Now, second, I think luck plays a big part. We ended up having the right kind of team, with the right kind of approach, right kind of attitude, and that's a lot of luck. And the right kind of people on the panel too. The casting went fairly well, right? That's part of luck, and I would never ever disregard it. I think the luck played a big. Third, of course, is I think Entrepreneur is also about timing, because if this show probably had come 4 years too early, this may not have worked.
India में there was a general revolution perspective on entrepreneurship.
Right. Fourth, then like. It's like the big entrepreneurs, like you say, you control what is controllable from your side, right? When you have all this, then you put your head down and get to it, right? You understand, of course, that.
फिर तो जनता जनार्दन है.
Then you start learning the subject. Then you start getting deep into it. Then you start thinking about what else can I do. Then you start looking at the details, right? And that's you've been given a platform to do that.
Last चीज बात करते हैं, फ्यूचर की बात करते हैं. From your perspective, जब आप 5 साल बाद देखते हैं, आपका विजन क्या है?
I think Shark Tank is more about impact, right? I think since Shark Tank is now, the impact is, at least the potential of larger impact is very clear. It adds that sense of responsibility that you've got to create the right impact, and you've got to create the right mindset, or you've got to kind of convey the right messaging, right? That this is what it is. So 5 years from hence, I hope Shark Tank's impact is deep and wide enough for people to take informed decisions about their choices, whether be it in career or be it in entrepreneurship. I would like Shark Tank to be that, where future entrepreneurs are inspired by this. Building your own.
मेरा मानना है कि भारत में entrepreneurship is here to stay. जितने आप छोटे दुकान इंडिया में देखते हैं ना, दुनिया में कहीं नहीं होता.
सही बात.
तो घरों में entrepreneurship भरी हुई. आपने मुझे वो करवाया Ask the Shark. उससे मेरे को सवाल एक आया था जी बीकानेर से, एक आया था जी नीमच से, और एक आया था जी कपूरथला से. ये तीनों नाम के आपने पहले एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप स्टार्टअप में कोई नाम नहीं देखे हो. 100% सवाल वहां से आ रहा है. यानी पीपल आर फॉलोइंग शार्क टैंक, और ये लोगों ने 1 और 2 देखा है, उससे ही लोग थर्ड के लिए इंटरेस्टेड. जो थर्ड पहली बार देखेंगे वो तो एक बड़ी जनता होगी, और ये हर साल बढ़ने वाली है. तो मेरा मानना है डेकाकॉन की तैयारी करिए. आप लोगों के लिए बहुत सारा प्यार, और मेरा मानना है कि बहुत आप लोगों ने जो इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट किया दैट इज डिसप्रोपोर्शनेट, एंड अब तो मतलब वी आर फाइटिंग दिस शोल्डर टू शोल्डर. तो बिल्कुल बनाएंगे.
थैंक यू सो मच, एंड थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग हियर.
बहुत सारा प्यार विमल, एंड सो नाइस ऑफ यू टू डू इट. आई नो यू डोंट जनरली डू इट. आई रियली अप्रिशिएट इट.
थैंक यू सो मच.